everybody knows that I'm breaking down.
Hi, welcome back to Vita-Mind-B. So this week I'd like to start with something that Anne Frank said. Anne Frank was a young Jewish girl who was the most discussed victims of the Holocaust. So she wrote a diary, and in that she mentioned something. Feelings can't be ignored no matter how unjust or ungrateful they seem. So I want to let that sink in for a bit. We all have feelings. We are emotional beings and we are always feeling something. The problem is nowadays we grow up in a community or family. Well, not everyone. Most of us, we grow up in a place where we started getting information like or all these things that help us to build up a wall among ourselves and suppress the feelings what we feel, and we let alone accept the feeling. So we no longer tell other people how we feel, and we start to just suppress or keep. We tend to pack our feelings into a bag. When I say pack, P-A-C-K, pretend, avoid, confute, and keep. So we do all these 4 things with our feelings, and especially now for all these difficult and hard feelings like shame, anger, guilt, or jealousy, we tend to just try to keep it away. Over time, these feelings would be bottled up, just like how a jar, it has limited space. Just like us, it has limited space for all these difficult or so-called negative feelings, and one day it's gonna burst. And we all are being exposed into all these positive energy. We need to stay positive, which is, I wouldn't say it's wrong. I mean, I would love you to stay positive all the time, but you need to accept that sometimes we don't just feel positive emotions. We don't just feel positive all the time. If I were to ask you right now, do you feel positive all the time? When your baby is splashing the food on the floor, when your dog chew your shoes, or when your boss is yelling at you, or your colleague took your documents by accident, all these kind of things. Can you really tell me for 100% that all these time you could stay positive? Just if you could, I would really love you to give me a call, connect with me, and I would love to learn how. We don't have to be obligated to feel positive all the time because it's normal. We are human beings. It's normal to have difficult or negative emotions and feelings. We need to just acknowledge it. We need to know that there are times that are difficult, that we are allowed to feel angry, we are allowed to feel sad, we are allowed to feel shameful, but not for long. And many of us would just being stuck in that state, that feeling sad, feeling depressed for a very long time. I don't want you to dwell on that. So instead of denying these negative or difficult emotions, I'd like you to acknowledge them. Just really know what you're feeling. Even Deepak Chopra, he mentioned ways, so many ways, meditation, or there's a lot of step-by-step process to just release these feelings. We need to release these feelings and reset ourselves, because if you keep all these negative emotions, it will soon to bottle up and create toxicity for your body and your mind, which is not good for you, and your energy would always be low. So we all don't want that. The best thing is you can do something about it. You really need to, well, I would say first just acknowledge it. So you need to release your emotions. We are allowed to release. I'm not saying go yell at people or yell at your dog or torture your pet or torture your soft toy. Don't do that. But release your feelings as in writing it down on a paper, make it physical, or you can talk to a mirror. At least you are talking to yourself, but locate where the feelings are. Where do you feel pain? What are the feelings? Name it. After you acknowledge it, after you know what you're feeling, and try to ask questions, a lot of questions. Why are you feeling this way? Go back to the root of these feelings or emotions, how it arises. So after you acknowledge them and then release them, then you need to reset. You need to know that you are okay to feel all these things, but it's time to take care of yourself. You don't want this to be in you for a very long time, 10 years, 20 years. Then there's a lot of toxic in your body, which is not what we all wanted. So right now, really don't feel bad if you feel shameful or you feel angry. It's normal. You just need to know, and don't need to stay positive all the time. I mean, even I don't stay positive all the time because it's normal. I'm still a human. Well, I hope this week episode would really help you to locate, acknowledge, know yourself, know what you're feeling, and don't need to feel obligated to stay positive all the time. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you next week.